So I was a big complex person. I still check out the site from time to time. Not as much as when they was on there like we're gonna make crazy lists that piss people off era. But I was on one complex when it first came out. Like it was connected to Echo Unlimited, and that was a big late '90s, early to mid 2000s streetwear brand. Not as much anymore. But this magazine essentially being a younger man's and more urban skewing. I mean urban as in cities and also black, Latin, uh, East Asian focused American style magazine comparable to GQ. But GQ felt like, yo, you need to be 35, 40, you gotta have more money. And they were at that time GQ wasn't covering the streetwear brands and the shoes and the rappers and the music and everything, but this did. Some peak 2000s era magazine stuff. I still have a lot of them in my storage unit. So when I saw they was actually after many years of not doing this, basically putting out a physical issue like the past, I guess to capitalize because they have the conventions now, and in a lot of ways complex, and it's YouTube networks, some of which I think they sold off or whatever. Um, they changed to a type of lifestyle brand, but still focusing on collectability because that is the nature of where um, hype beats culture is basically followed after geek stuff, but in a little bit more stylish way. Uh, they've gone back around, I guess, essentially 20 years after the fact to what got them here and physical things for people to collect. And I was like, I'm damn sure gonna get the first copy, the first issue. Bought this, took a little bit, but just like the old days, is a flip magazine, two different covers, Billie Eilish cover, Eminem cover. A lot of sales for this album. The death of Slim Shady, Eminem, Marshall Mathers still, I guess, a factor within the music industry. Yeah. Like, did I listen to it? No, because I don't. I am not in the mind space to listen to modern Eminem. Billie Eilish, uh, last album was good. Got some joints. This came out during the campaign season for the Grammys. This video was made after the Grammys. I think she maybe one or two. Didn't really need the big ones, but it's okay because she's already halfway to an EGOT. I think she got two Oscars, a whole bunch of Grammys. She good. Unlike the past, this is more of a physical object than what a magazine you would get on the newsstand back in the day or sent to you to your house when you had a subscription. Big rings, larger size. The Buy Collect Obsessed is still there. The new editor. Table of contents. Covering many different things. Focus on stuff like Complex Con. Nigo's new Nike stuff. We had really cool like anime and tokusatsu elements. 70s specifically elements to his collaborations that I think are still coming out. Style guys as usual. Rappers. Virgil, his importance to I guess the modern movement of streetwear and this type of era of it. Interesting. I remember when this came out. This caused a frenzy. This was in the old magazines. I gotta dig those old magazines out. Averex jacket. We'll see if they actually come back because they call it Y2000s, and this to me is very much a late '90s carrying over into 2000s. But his peak to me is like '97 through like maybe 2001 of having an Averex a jacket I never could afford at the time. I think the overall layout of the magazine is good. It is interesting to look at. It is bright. It is colorful. It's nice to flip through. A lot better than looking through Instagram pictures and websites of scrolling. Seems easy to read. A nice thing about Clark Kent, who passed away, very important, I would say, to modern complex in terms of their sneaker or their shoe coverage and the way in which they talk about rating shoes. He's probably one of the most important figures in our entire idea of collecting what I call tennis shoes, but most commonly known as sneakers. Seems like something that will be the future of a lot of magazines, is to focus more on limited runs and being physical objects for people to collect, i.e., more and more things becoming what the comic book used to be, or kind of still is, as the comic book itself is also even shrinking more compared to other things, because it's kind of hard to get comic books even if you go direct to consumer. Or it's a different type of, I guess, a different type of market and a different type of customer base that focuses too much, I feel, on old people. And while this might focus somewhat on older people like myself who remember the original Complex's original run, is still very more tailored to younger people who are currently outside. Sticker sheet is nice. Also, they focus on a bunch of new things. I'm not going to sit here and say I know all this stuff. All this, yes. Some of the style stuff, yes. Poster. Won't use it. Will probably sit in with this magazine for most of the time I'll have it. Yachty and James Blake. More stickers. I think adding the stickers into the magazine is cool. Technically another cover, so if you want, I guess maybe you can have it like this, along with the other flip cover. Camila Cabello, whose album I believe did not do what everybody expected it to do. But maybe it might be bouncing back and doing well. Might have a long run. Who knows? I didn't listen to it. All the masthead stuff over here. Now the PS1's reached UNC status. That's hilarious. This seems like a nice companion to what they do on the website and their YouTube channels. I forget who Complex is owned by now. Put the rankings into the magazine. So it's almost like a collection of the website, because we know websites aren't forever anymore. But if you want to actually have some of these things, you now have it in paper form. Drewski, a guy who younger people find hilarious, that I still haven't completely caught on to him yet. He's made me chuckle a few times, but we'll see. Maybe I want to see him do stand-up or something. The PS1 has reached UNC status. Yeah, it's 30 years old. This side has a lot more map pages, it feels, than the other side. These trading cards are cool. It's for these younger artists. Again, dialing down to the collectability. More stuff that streetwear culture is taking from, I would say, comic book and geek culture overall. As geek culture's not even become mainstream, it's always been mainstream, especially in certain facets where people who weren't picked on for reading comic books and collecting things. Which I would say a lot of people that are in streetwear culture or creative streetwear culture was also always into those things. As we're learning more and more and more. and I probably lived through, as I am old now. As I go from Unk to probably OG in terms of age. Making him younger was interesting. Overall, as I go through this whole magazine, flipping through it quickly, I do hope that this was successful enough that they consider doing this for the entire year. Because I would enjoy being able to buy like a complete year worth of Complex, kind of like what I was doing between the ages of 24 and 29 or whatever. I kept it going for a while. I had subscriptions. But yeah, that's my take on the new Complex physical magazine. For maybe the very few people who watch this, I hope you enjoy hearing me talk and reminisce and give my thoughts on what this was. Peace.